All right, what's going on, everybody? This is the video review of Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe Class First Aid. And this is a very special review because it's something I have never done before, but it's something exciting. I'm doing a collaboration review with TFA 1024.
Greetings and salutations, fellow Transformers addicts. I am TFA 1024, aka the Transformers Addict, and today I'm doing a collaboration video review with none other than lockbotCRM. I'm very pleased to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. It sounded like a fun idea when you pitched it to me, so I figured might as well try it. It's a different format. It breaks up the monotony of what I usually do. So,
It's never been
um,
done before.
today we are looking at the fourth member of the Protectobots, and that's First Aid. And he is a nice little ambulance. I want to go ahead and bring in, just to get it out of the way, there's Off-Road. So you can see the differences, because they are the same mold technically. First Aid is just a reshell of Off-Road. So you can totally see here the differences, just the panel lines and the way everything is constructed. Obviously, Off-Road's a truck, so he's got the bed, and First Aid has the little ambulance area back here, like the place where you put your patients. I don't know what that's called. Um, but yeah, you can totally see the body lines are just straight up different. He looks like a completely new figure, and unless you got him in your hand and transformed him and knew the way he worked, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that he was a reshell of Off-Road, which is cool. I like that they're doing that. He is a predominantly white ambulance with light blue windows all around, except on the back, because they always forget to paint the back for some reason. Red sirens at the top. You got some silver detailing here on the grill. Nothing on the lights, which is kind of sad because their detailing is really cool. On the side, you've got red detailing with rescue and emergency in case you forgot he's an ambulance. There's stickers everywhere or paint everywhere to show you what he is. He has the same wheels as Off-Road, and they're not painted. They're just black, which is fine. I mean, I don't think you need some dubs on a ambulance.
Yeah, if anything, repro labels could probably up these guys with sticker sets.
Oh yeah, totally. And then he has an Autobot symbol. Speaking of stickers, I actually thought that was a sticker because the way it looks, but it's not. So
Oh,
that's
it's tamper graph.
yeah, it's on there. So
It's funny. It's on the same side as Off-Road. I
yeah,
thought they would have like switched the side.
it is. Yeah, that's true. Um, but he does roll, obviously. He's a car, so unfortunately, he comes with the same weapons that Off-Road came with. So he comes with the axe. It's painted black instead of purple. So that's. And he comes with the same hand-foot gun. It's the engine block looking thing with all the exhaust pipes.
Oops.
It does have the red thingy right there, the joint at the thumb, so you know who it goes with. And similarly, it does peg on up here on the top. You want it to, if you want to have it up there as guns or exhaust pointing the wrong way, whichever one. Um, Other than that, you have the choice of sticking it. Nah, it won't fit there. Sticking it on the side or just not sticking it on there at all because it's huge. The axe will store on the side though, so
It's just
there's
kind of
that. It's just what you need on an ambulance is a giant axe.
giant foot gun.
So, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to TFA 1024's camera, and he's gonna compare them all in vehicle mode to the other Protectobots.
That sounds good. So, for basic obligatory review comparison with these other figures here, you have them with a nice comparison of Off-Road, like lockbotCRM mentioned. Pretty much exactly the same mold. Very heavy retooled, very nicely done in deco. Apologize, mine's not staying together. They did a lot of really nice detailing on this. I really like what they did with First Aid. I'm not even sure if he turns like this in the comics, but if so, I'm very pleased, and I'm very glad that I have him. But since we discussed about Off-Road, let's take him to the side. Sorry, buddy. Or newbie. Here he is with... See if I can get my camera up. Here he is with Hotspot. Facing the wrong way. Don't worry, I'm not a professional. Very nice scale here. Except I would not imagine a ambulance to be that big. But then again, when it comes to Transformers, the mysterious ways of mass shifting is always upon us. So, here he is with the newbie Rook. And I gotta say again, nice scale. Rook's a little bit bigger for a newbie, just a little bit. Taking Hotspot out of the way, here he is with taking Rook out of the way. And last but not least, here he is with the final member of the aerial bots, for now. Blades. I gotta say, very nice comparisons. Very good scaling, toy-wise, I should say, because I mean, you're not gonna automatically get it like real-world referenced, because the helicopter would obviously be way bigger than an ambulance. So
Yeah. I like the way they scale together.
yeah,
They definitely, like you said, they look good together. I like having a fire truck and an ambulance, and
yeah, they really do look good together. I mean, all the Protectobots do. Even if you took the Protectobot mold users, like with off-road and Streetwise, and you know, even with the aerial bot, like even though they're just exact copies, pretty much, they all look really good together.
they do.
I really dig these guys. I'm very glad that I got these guys because I had a hard time trying to get them. I had to go on RobotKingdom.com, pay like 200 something bucks for them.
Yeah, I had to go to a specialty store to get mine. But I think that the reason they work so well together in vehicle mode and robot mode inversely because they're still have the same paint. It's the paint. The colors just look really nice together. There's a lot of whites.
Emergency rescue team.
It just they match. Yeah, they use the same types of reds and the same types of blues in certain cases, and it looks really good.
It really does, and I'm like I said, I'm really glad that I got these guys because I mean, like I said, I never grew up in the '80s. I never had the opportunity to get the Protectobots or the aerial bots. I think I got knockoffs, but those didn't hold up long. But this is a really nice way to have a new remastered team of the original guys you grew up with, and having a second chance at getting them, which is just an awesome way to like really market these guys and find a new way to make a new concept idea for a new wave of figures with your old favorite characters with some newbies.
Yeah, so definitely looking good for the protected bots so far. We'll go ahead and segue into transformation, and while we're headed to robot mode, we'll take a stop in leg mode so you can kind of see how that works. What you want to do first is he transforms the exact same way as off-road. You just want to pull the front bumper out. It is tabbed in two spots. You pull it out, and you rotate this panel up and clip it down like so. Then you want to move the legs out of the way, and I turn the head around just so I have it. Then flip the combiner port out. So ultimately, it's just, whoa, I knew that was going to happen. My backdrop just fell. Yay! Anyway, so basically, it's in vehicle mode. Gosh. I'm not in the normal position I usually am to do a review. And that's why this backdrop is deciding to be a jerk right now. Okay, there we go. So there he is in leg mode, and he looks good. I really like the fact that, he's got the knee. He looks solid, I will say, except for this little gap right here. But from the front, he definitely looks super solid in leg mode. What do you think about the leg mode?
Well, in my personal opinion, I really do dig it. I think it's really good. However, I think Hasbro could have found a way to like maybe maximize the hand foot. Because I mean, if you look at that foot and you look at the leg, you can see it's a little bit too small.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not like harping on him or anything. I really do enjoy the hand feet. I thought it was a really neat concept. I think it works very well.
Yeah.
I think that, again, I think it's just a really neat idea for Hasbro to do something like that. And I think it really works. However, for, of course, Generation 1 fans, there are people who grew up with Generation 1, or even, are just used to seeing Defensor with First Aid as an arm. You have that option, and we'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
But him just being a foot, I think he does the job. I think does the job pretty well, and yeah, I think he's a good looking foot.
Yeah, I compared him. I'm comparing him right now. You can see with off road how different they look. Just in the leg mode. Obviously, first aid is a little bit beefier because he's bigger. But I will say you're right about the foot. It's kind of what happened in my dead end review when I talked about the foot is the same size as all the other ones, but because the way dead end's basically his ankle, because the way that is shaped, it makes that foot look freaking huge. And on first aid here, it's the inverse where he is a little bit big at the bottom, so it makes that foot look tiny, which I totally understand what you're saying there. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and finish out and head to robot mode. So that's where we were. Then what you want to do is you want to untab the sides right here, bring these legs down. I pull the arms up. I'm trying to make sure you guys can see this, but
I'm trying to
I'm
do it
off
on
to the
my
side.
side too, and I literally have my hands over the camera.
Yeah. Flip the head up. Then you want to untab this panel back here. It's tabbed in. Then you stretch the legs out like so. This is the exact same transformation as off-road. So if you have any references you need to make, why don't you go check out off-road's review? Hey. Anyway. So put all that like so. And then I kind of flare these shoulder pads out to the side.
Yeah, it gives it that little bit more of articulation, and then you can separate the legs if you
Yeah.
really want to. It's optional.
So, but there he is in his robot mode, and he definitely looks really, really cool.
He looks like his IDW incarnation.
He
Really.
does. To me, he looks a little bit young, but I kind of like it. So I don't know. I'm gonna try to move this light so you can see him a little bit better. There we go. But he looks good. I really like him in his current body. What do you think about any gripes or comments about the robot mode that you have that immediately jump to mind?
No, not really. It'd be nice for Hasbro to find a way to make maybe like a double hinge, so that way you don't have like this giant hulking backpack. Like have a double hinge maybe right here where the light bar would be,
Yeah.
able to like fold down a bit more. But other than that, I know this is pretty much like a straight off-road thing. I'm not complaining. I personally dig that this first aid. I think he's really well done. Um, no real giant complaints or gripes or really anything. I'm just pleased to have a first aid because again, I never really had the opportunity to get the Protectobots or even the Sunicons or Aerial Bots, and this is a nice new representation of first aid that I'm pretty sure most people will like.
Yeah. So as you can see here, I've stuck him next to off-road again, who
I'm falling behind. Hold on.
is definitely different. I mean, they just look totally different because the way everything is, reshelled. Off-road, you see a lot more of his mass. It feels like it's in the upper body, and his legs are a little bit skinnier. And if you look at them both from the side, you can tell that first aid just has a lot more meat down towards the bottom, down towards his feet. So they just have different proportions despite being the exact same skeleton. And that's, I've preached over and over and over again about that's one of the things I love about Combiner Wars is the fact that you can have the same skeleton in a robot and have them look different. If you go back to my Aerial Bots review, I basically said that in every single review of, those guys is that they're the same skeleton, and these guys actually are the same skeleton as the Aerial Bots. So tying it back together, yay! But I like the fact that they can use the same basic idea and just make it so much different and so much better, in my opinion.
I'm gonna have to pretty much agree with you on every single point there. I think they are a really nice pair. I think it's a really nice figure altogether. I mean, really, they look very well together. Me personally, since you have options with these figures, I personally like to keep these down to give it that more Autobot friendly look. I think I got something transformed wrong.
Let's see. I just see
Whenever you
black
think
on
of an
your
Autobot,
screen.
because whenever you think of an Autobot, you think of a cube, little friendly like guy. Well, Decepticon, he's like big, bad, and spiky.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Is you just tuck these panels down to the side.
Yeah, pretty much. And it
Yeah.
does hinder. It doesn't really hinder the elbow articulation any. I mean,
Yeah.
you connect it, but I mean, really, it doesn't do that much to it.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, paint wise in his robot mode, you see a lot of red has been revealed. Basically, the whole torso is red. So he goes from being predominantly a white vehicle to predominantly a red robot with white accents. So some more blue and silver has been revealed here. There's some blue accents on his kneecaps. You get some silver in the chest, and there's that neat little Autobot symbol right there on his, chest area, and the whole chest and everything has been redone as well. You can pan back to the off-road comparison. Basically, everything you see here is new except for the thighs. Like that whole upper leg area is the same, and the wheels are the same, and yeah, the pelvis is the same, but everything else is totally new. So you're looking at basically a brand new figure here. There's only a select few pieces that are the same from off-road, but you've got tons of new molding. I'm hoping it comes across because he's white. It's hard to tell. There's tons of new molding, tons of detail, tons of really cool stuff on him. And taking a look at his face, he just looks awesome. That head sculpt, my goodness, is fantastic. I know what he looks like in IDW, and I will have to agree he does look like he jumped straight out of the comic book.
Yeah, I mean, he really just, they took the renderization and made it to come to life. They took that iteration. And it really is just really awesome. I mean, it's first aid. It's the Protectobot first aid. It's a good looking first aid. And it's just, I really enjoy it. I personally, I mean, I was ecstatic to get these figures because, I mean, they're all really awesome in their own unique way, regardless if they share a mold with a figure or not. They're
Yeah.
all still genuinely the Protectobots, no matter what.
And that's a good point you bring up. By the way, he can hold his weapons. Everyone knows that. Jeez, people. um, anyway, it does bring up a good point that, even if he, you know, did share a good bit with off road, I think he still has enough character in him to be, worthwhile of picking up just because the way he is. But definitely, as he is now, he's definitely worth picking up. Here he is with his fellow Protectobots so far. Um,
And again, I keep falling behind.
Streetwise is not in here because I haven't reviewed him yet, so we'll get to him next. But they definitely look really great together. You can see the whites and the reds, and obviously Hotspot. I like Hotspot being a different little bit of blue than Rook and some of the other little details because Hotspot's the leader, and I don't want him to blend in. I want him to look unique in his own way. But definitely, these guys look great together. I think Rook and Blades are just so many different. And I go back to the proportions again. They just all look different, but they all look unified at the same time. So,
Yeah,
that's something I really like about these teams.
I hate to kind of get off subject though, at least on my side anyway. The one thing I wish they kind of do with Hotspot rather, instead of having the wheels facing his through his thighs, is they could have found like a way to hinge that around.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
only
Well.
little minor off-topic complaint there, just because I think it would look a lot nicer.
Yeah, I agree. Anyway, his posability. He's got obviously these joints here, you can play around with them. It's just personal preference how you want those. But he does have shoulder articulation with a cut. His elbows are that same kind of ratcheted, and they go all the way back. His head is on a ball joint, so you can rotate. And it does have that little cut in the back, but because his head is so square, you can't like move it very much. So that's kind of a bummer. He does have waist articulation, and he has a ball joint at the thigh with a cut out to the side, rotation at the thigh as well, 90-degree bend at the knee, and that's about it, unless you want to count his backpack moving, which I wouldn't. So he's definitely posable. He's no more posable than any of the other figures, but he's no less posable than the other figures. So yay! Um,
I ain't complaining.
yeah, I'm not complaining either. So
Let me see if I can. And I'm still trying to do the comparison. Again, I apologize for falling behind.
That's all right. So I'm trying to see. I can't really see on your end like what you got.
I turned on the other fan light, but the chain broke, so right now we got hotspot and first aid together.
Okay. All right. Um, well, I'll go ahead and move on into the arm mode, and you don't have to transform it with me. You can just kind of look off what I'm doing if you are rushing to keep up. Sorry.
No, I don't mind, dude. It's fine. Um, I'll just give the viewers a nice longer look at the comparison of the protector box while you do.
Okay. So I flipped his combiner port out. Then what you want to do is you want to bring the arms back like this, and they tab into the side of the vehicle mode. So bring the arms back, like all the way back. Like you basically break his elbows and then tab them into his torso. So like that. And then you put the legs together. And then I'm trying not to destroy what I've made already. And then rotate the waist to the side like usual. Then take the hand foot gun and put it on here. Flip out the fingers. Oh, goodness. This hand foot gun is stiff. I've barely had him in arm mode. He's been a leg for me most of the time, but I do like the arm mode. It looks great. It looks better than off-roads. I mean, off-roads arm mode look good. Let me set him down for a second. You want to talk about the arm mode a little bit while I transform off-road off camera?
Well, let me think. The arm mode. I personally gotta say I happen to really like it because it gives that old traditional Generation 1 feel of first aid becoming an arm. And it's funny, every time I use first aid, I don't really even use him. I kind of just do the whole one-arm defense sword thing. Because apparently first aid is a pacifist. But other than that, I think the arm mode looks really well. The only really minor issue I have is just those little flaps. Because I can't really find a good way to situate them.
Yeah.
Not really much else to say, but he's an arm.
Yeah, he is. But he looks good.
He's an arm. He's a good-looking arm.
There he is with off-road, and I'm trying to hold both of them with one hand because skills. But definitely first aid once again comes in looking a little bit better because of the way he is proportioned. He just has a beefier little, lower arm down here, and off-road kind of, just has the truck bed. But definitely all this up here, all these panels up here fit together a whole lot better than the big bulky doors. There's just the way the angles and the way everything lines up, it just ends up looking better on first aid. He does have these little gaps right here where the arms go in vehicle mode, but you don't really see those, so...
That can be easily forgiven, unless you're really that big of a nitpicker.
Yeah, so...
But no offense to anyone out there, just saying.
But he definitely is a really good arm, so I'm going to try to... No, he won't prop up there. But they... he's a good arm and a good leg too. I don't know how I would have him. I mean, I said earlier that I only have him as a leg just because that's the way the box has it. So I haven't really played around with him too much. I usually don't mess around with him a lot until after I'm done reviewing him. So I keep my thoughts fresh in my mind about him. But yeah, he looks good as an arm and he looks good as a leg. I would have no problem using him as either. Now, there are some figures that I don't think look good as an arm or don't look good as a leg. He's definitely not one of those. He is versatile.
If anyone, I'd probably have to say, like, Alpha Bravo.
Yeah, Alpha Bravo, his leg mode's a little bit weak, I think. So, it's just thin compared to everything else. So, but, as far as I know, that's it. Yeah, that is it. So overall, I really like first aid. He is everything I liked about off-road and more. They're not lying when they tell you that he's a better version of off-road. He really is. And I definitely recommend picking them up. If you're going to get the protective bots, you kind of need him anyway. So you should do that. Any final thoughts on first aid?
Again, pretty much what you just said. So I think that's pretty much it for this video review. So if you guys happen to like this video, be sure to hit that like button. If you happen to want to see more of lockbotCRM and my videos, be sure to hit our subscribe buttons. Let us know what you thought about the video down in the comment section down below, and I think that's pretty much it. So
Yeah.
I've been PFA 1024. This has been the collaboration video review for Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe Class First Aid. And remember, I recommend so you can decide.
Yep.
This is
So,
PFA 1024 signing out.
all
Peace.
right. So, thanks for watching the video, guys. I'm gonna post a link to his channel in the description so you guys can follow over there and like and subscribe. You need to subscribe to him like now, or I'm gonna hunt you down and gut you like a fish. Okay, bye.